26 churches, and 23 of them turned her down. This is what happened to Nicolene. She called 26 churches for help. She pretended to be a desperate mother without baby formula, even playing the sound of a baby crying in the background, begging for help. Some churches gave excuses. Some hung up. And others coldly responded, "We don't do that here." But she didn't give up. She made another call, but this time not to a church, to a Muslim mosque. The response was completely different. "Where are you? What kind of formula do you need? Come here, we'll help you." The churches who preach love thy neighbor failed to offer any help in a time of need, while the often misunderstood Muslim community showed what real faith looks like through action. After this experiment, some supported Nicole, believing she exposed the hypocrisy of the religious system. Others criticized her for stirring unnecessary controversy. But no matter where you stand, we all have to ask ourselves, if even those who claim to preach love can't practice it, then where can we find real love?
There's a woman on TikTok who's doing a social experiment where she is calling churches to ask about baby formula to see if any of them will actually help them out. And she called a mosque and they actually would help them out, while none of the churches. And this doesn't surprise me as a pastor, and I talk a lot about Muslim zakat. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, where Muslim communities and Muslims are obligated to provide charity to the community. Churches get scammed all of the time. And so if you think the response to churches saying no to helping baby formula is to tax the churches, we spend $1 trillion a year on our military.
Yeah, so that's not how zakat works at all. Zakat is a formal thing. It's you can't just say, "Oh, a mother has asked me for a bottle of baby formula, therefore I am forced by the pillar of Islam to give it to her." Like, you're talking as if mosques don't get scam calls too. Like, that's such a bonkers thing to say. But zakat is a formal thing, so on many levels, you can't just, if a mother asks you for a single bottle of baby formula and then you give her the bottle, then you're like, aha, that is my zakat. It goes towards my zakat, 2.5% after nisab for the year. That would actually fall under sadaqah, which is, by the way, identical to the Hebrew concept of tzedakah, which is righteousness or righteous obligation or righteous act, but it's usually just translated as charity. Like, you can't absolve your church from not giving baby formula to a mother because they're not forced to be kind like Muslims are. That's literally insane. They're not being kind because they're being forced to. They're being kind because Islam teaches that as a value. But aside from that, you then go on to this big long thing about how the fact that churches don't give to charity doesn't mean that we should tax them because the military-industrial complex exists. Churches are not charities, and that is why they should be taxed. There's no reason they should be tax exempt like a charity when they are not obligated to be charitable. They can be for profit, as many of them are. They can engage in charitable activities, but that does not preclude them to be exempt from taxation. Churches use the same services and utilities that everybody else uses. They use the same roads, and yet they can use them for free without having to pay their due taxes to keep those services running, it just makes no sense whatsoever. The masjid didn't say yes to a single bottle of baby formula because they don't get scam calls or because they're forced to by zakat. Scam calls about gift cards are not one single bottle of baby formula that user is asking for. You're simply making up excuses for why churches did so much worse at that very simple test of decency, and then just go into a big long tirade about how all the churches failed this test of charity but still shouldn't be taxed because war exists. What an unhinged video.
Pastor Thomas Burke came on here and said that the church is not obligated to help you out in your time of need. And they have shown us this multiple times. Like when there was a hurricane and Joel Osteen did not open up his mega church in Texas. Now that people are starving, the church has nothing to give them, nothing to...
I am calling your church to test to see if they are willing to help feed.
So I saw her do this experiment and I wanted to try in the DMV area. However, I'm going to go ahead and start with my church and see how they respond. Let me call them. Today is a Friday, so I don't know if they're going to pick up, but let's see.
Good morning, Crossroads Baptist Church, Anita speaking.
Hi there. I wanted to call in to see if you guys have any type of support. I have a 6-month-old and I'm ran out of formula, and I wanted to see if you guys could help with that.
We don't. I'm sorry. Don't know. You may want to check back later around Thanksgiving, see if we have any baskets or anything. But right now we don't.
You cannot help with formula.
No, we cannot. No, we don't do that. You may want to try another church. We have quite a few things going on right now financially. We have people without jobs, etc. But and these are church members. But right now we don't have any kind of funds set aside for that. So I'm sorry.
I have a hungry baby, though.
I understand. There's nothing we can do right now. You said may want to try a few other churches, see if they can help you.
Is this just...
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
I'm so disappointed. Oh my God.